countries are playing against each other. Kenya versus Germany. The German Rugby Union, celebrating 117 years of its existence, will be playing against a team that has perhaps in the last seasons been able to go around and prove themselves. Kenya, playing against Portugal and Spain last year, winning both games, including one against Brazil away, will now welcome the Germans, who had a very memorable season in the European rugby competition, defeating seasoned Rugby World Cup participants Romania. The RFUEA grounds in Nairobi packed to the rafters. By my estimation, about 8,000 strong fellows bringing the crowd. And in your picture there, both teams getting onto the field of play. Kenya in the red and the Germans in the black. The Germans, of course, blooding in about 5 new players who are getting their caps. Kenya also having some 5 lads who are also on course to get their first caps. For the Germans at fullback, Onala Harris, Element Ben, Kutsia Marcelos. I'll start with the Kenyan ones. Tony Onyango, fullback, has been the preferred starter in that position. Mukiza Darwin, who actually was with the 7th team, gets on the open side wing. David Amunye, Patrice Agunda at the center. Jacob Oje making a return after a 2-year injury layoff. Biko Adema, yet another season Kenya Sevens stalwart, and incidentally also has, or rather traces, part of his roots to Germany. His mom is actually German. Samson Onsomu will be the starter at number 9. Martin Owil at number 8. Davis Chenge, the stand-in captain for this series, at number 7. Well, he was the captain when they went to South Africa, but the captain in this particular match will be the number 4, Wilson Kopondo. Kere Eric and Munafo Samson, both boys who played at Impala, will be at number 6 and 5. Dennis Karani, Peter Karen, Moses Amusala complete the starting lineup. On the bench, we have Dennis Muhanji, Leo Seje, Kelvin Masai, George Nyambua, Oliver Mangeni, Bramwell Mayaka, Oscar Simeon, Philippi Kambili. The Germans, on the other hand, will be starting with Haris Unala at 15, Element Ben, Kotsie Marcel, Rainer Parkinson at number 12, Mathieu Ducot at the blind side wing at number 11, Hilschenbeck, Chris at number 10, Tim Menzel at number 9, Yarid Els at number 8, Otto Jacobus, Brenna Kihoma conclude the back row, Potmeyer Michael, Marx Eric, Fushel Sami, Turner Mikhail, and Nostad Julius complete the forward line. The replacements for the Germans: Jon Schroeder, Anthony Dickinson, Timo Volkemper, Dash Baba, Mark Schutendra, Sean Armstrong, Jamie Murphy, and Marcelin. The coach for the Germans, Hobus Portgitter. And in a moment's time, once the players are completing a picture there, the president of Kenya Rugby Union, Richard Omwela, is trying to calm the nerves. In your picture there also from the sponsor, Tattoo City. At the back, the managing director also just congratulating and just shaking the hands of the players. 5 players on course to have their maiden caps for Kenya. So this will definitely be one that will be fought evenly right across the board. The Kenyans smarting from a season where they did not lose any single match at home, only losing to Namibia away in Windhoek, will be keen to start on a very strong note ahead of their fixture in the Elgon Cup against Uganda in 2 weeks' time. And in a little while, we'll have the anthems for both teams. In your picture there, the match officials, Victor Dor from Kenyan Consent Cup will be assistant referees, and Kwengile Jazweni from South Africa. In your picture with the Fly Emirates shirt will be the center referee. Coming up shortly, the national anthems of Germany and Kenya.
performed by Mayonde, the national anthem of the Republic of Kenya.
And up next, the Kenyan anthem performed by local songsters, Mayonde. Loaded and ready to rumble. Both teams showing lots of passion in the anthem sung moments ago. And in the next minute, we'll be able to kick this one off. The first of a very historic feature. Kenya versus Germany. Kenya in the red strip, Germany in the black with a yellow on the shoulder. The picture there. Kenyan team and the Germans with the DHL on their backs, ready to roll on. Germans definitely looking much bigger in the forwards compared to the Kenyans. Kenya incidentally losing a couple of players to various injuries during their training stint in South Africa. But they'll be keen to ensure that they can utilize what they have on board. Just trying to strengthen the starting lineup, including Darwin Mukwiza, who just landed back into the country a couple of days ago from the London and Paris Sevens of the International Rugby Board. In the picture there, the bulky frame of Dennis Karani. Almost looks like he's eaten a couple of Germans already before the game. Alongside his clubmate Simon Munyafu. The man was indeed grown in stature in the last couple of seasons. The Germans will kick off from right to left on your screen in the black street.
Read, Captain.
Chris Hilsenbeck, the German fly up with the ball in hand, just waiting for the whistle. Indeed, it's blown. And he kicks it off, rising high up into the air. Held up quite well. Easily picked up by Kere. Popped it off on contact. Easily handled by Dai Mukiza. He's trying to ensure that they can have a clean platform. Samson on somewhere at the back. Taking his time. Getting the ball out. Picked up by Peter Karia. Goes down easily, but almost like those rushed by the Germans. The whistle has been blown. Peter Karia just went on a bit too easily. The Germans gifted with a very easy penalty within the first minute of the game. That definitely looked like a penalty that could be struck for the opening points.
As you watch this game, keep an eye on the player that stands out for you.
Karia getting the ball, just not working hard, not keeping his footing, easily picked up. Great work there from Jacobus Otto, going over, milking the penalty. The Kenyans not having any answer to that. And immediately, Rainer Parkinson with a chance to open the scores in this game. Inside center looking up, taking a deep gulp in. He lets it rip. And the penalty is good. The German rugby team opening up the scores. Rainer Parkinson with the initial points. Germany 3, Kenya 0. Biko Adema in a picture there, the Kenya number 10. Incidentally, also having German roots, his mom actually comes from Germany. But all passion aside, representing Kenya on this occasion and not keen on being very sentimental.
That's taken back.
The Germans electing to let one rise up into the air, picked up, almost knocked out, but Martin Oila recovers, picking the ball, getting to contact, almost isolated, getting it out. Davis Chenge breaking away, the Kenyans look to be on course. Eric Kere does it. The home crowd is happy, and the Kenyans showing exactly what they're capable of. Responding immediately, Eric Kere picking the ball and dashing 50 meters. Germany 3, Kenya 5. Game on Kere just knocking off. Martin Owila picking the ball, getting it to Kere, stepping through the first, having the pace. And how many times do you see a back row forward out sprinting a scrum half? Kere just pinning his ears back, rushing up, making it one of the easiest goals. Kenya getting back into it.
Time has started. 90 seconds for the kick. 45 seconds left.
Ensuing conversion attempt still yet to be taken. Kenyans definitely responding immediately. Darwin Mukidza will be the man with the responsibility to earn the extra 2 points. The man who's been in stellar form for his local team, Kenya Commercial Bank, who incidentally also won their double, winning the Enterprise Cup today against Cabras, 27-23. Mukidza looks up, lets it rip. The extra 2 points not successful. The scores remain Kenya 5, Germany 3. Try scoring a picture, Eric Kere. He's trying to issue a couple of instructions to his teammates. Great start for Eric Kere. His first touch on the ball and dashing 50 meters. It will be a memorable moment for him. Ball recovered by Eric Kere, the try scorer, easily placing it up on deck. Samson Onsomu looking for a couple of runners out. Goes up to the forwards, this time not isolating themselves, doing very well, recovering. Onsomu not too fast with the ball. Biko Adema getting the ball out where the Kenyans keen on trying to test their speed. Owila getting the ball to David Ambunya, breaking 3 tackles. The Germans need to be very wary of this Kenyan onslaught. Out in the open, they can hurt anyone. Onsomu getting the ball out wide. Ball dummied. Captain Wilson Kopondo. A hard 10 meters. Going down on deck. Peter Carrier on course. Samson Onsomu made a miller of it, but looks like it was a penalty. Has been called by the referee. The Germans definitely finding it a bit hard to handle the speed. Kenyans definitely signaling their intentions. Keen on running out wide. Wilson Kopondo breaking on through the first tackle, riding through the second. Through the fly via Kobus before eventually being brought down by Tim Menzel, the scrum half, and right there you could actually see it was quite cynical. The penalty being milked. Then Mukidza with the ball in hand, keen on going for the extra 3 points. The Kenyans just keen on trying to pump in as many points as possible, getting themselves in better stead ahead of the second half. Darwin Mukidza in your picture there with a chance to add another 3 points for the home side. Missed his first kick, the conversion attempt. This one looks like it's a sitter, smack dead center. Dennis Karani, picture the number 3, almost looks like he's trying to ensure that he can give moral support. Mukidza lets it ride in the air, doesn't look like it has the accuracy. Goes wide, and the Germans will have a restart on the 22-meter line. Not the best of kicking starts from Darwin Mukidza. The scores remaining Kenya 5, Germany 3. Already in the 7th minute of this match. Both teams definitely showing the need for industry and creativity. Restart high in the air from Chris Hilsenbeck into Darwin Mukidza, who missed his kick a few minutes ago. Kicked up and Tony Onyango rushes up, and the Germans didn't have any answer. Tim Menzel just doing the honorable thing, riding it out, and that should be a line-out throw in for Kenya, the first in this game. Peter Carrier selects to use a ball that will run on the touchline. The man who looks like a reggae artist. Lets it right in there, but loses it. That will be some point of concern. The Germans winning the first line out against the head. Wilson Kopondo, the captain, doesn't manage to bring down the pass in the first attempt, but the second attempt brings him down. The referee calls for the penalty. Davis Chenge did not look like he kept his feet. The Germans will be keen on trying to get a bit more territory. A bit scrappy there from Kenya in the initial line-out. Just didn't look like they were keen on trying to execute quite well, and gifting the German rugby team a chance to move in. Rainer Parkinson with a massive boot, moving all the way to the 20. Does it go out? Doesn't look like it did. Tony Onyango gets the ball to Patrice Agunda. Almost peeled the ball at his first attempt. Lets it ride, picks himself up, goes up, does very well. Samson Onsomu to Davis Chenge. The muscle man gets it down. Jacob Oje keen on trying to ensure that the recycling has been done, but the Germans need to watch out for being cynical there. Samson Onsomu scratches quickly. No one seemed to have been up, but the referee asked him to come back. Onsomu, one of the live wire players,
Tackler roll. You are fine.
has only played for one team in Kenya. Impala. Adema
9. Call him quickly.
tries to calm things down. He'll look to try and get a bit of territory.
If you want to take it quickly, take it on the mark or behind the mark. Again, I'll allow you. Kicker, let's go, please.
Nice servant for both the Kenya 7s and 15s teams. Has been out of the Kenya 15 setup for close to a decade, but makes his entry back into the team. New picture there, Kenya Rugby Union director Ezekiel Oworo, the man with the tie. Don't get so many fellows putting on ties on a Saturday. Sitting right next to Polycarp Igathe.
Sorry.
Ball rides up. This time picked up by Kenya, but the referee seemed to have spotted something.
There are 2 balls on the field.
Kenya line out just looking a bit shaky. That looked to have actually hit the target, but the Germans will definitely be keen on trying and challenge for that. Having well noted where that initial ball landed, Peter Curry just having a chit-chat session on the touchline, getting a bit of a massage on his shoulder. Not too certain what happened to him, but Curry looks ready to continue. This time picked up by Simon Munyafu. Samson Onsomu gets it out to Biko Adema, rushes back, gets the ball out to Jacob Oje, appended in the air. The referee seems it was okay. Onsomu, it's a ball out to the forwards. Munyafu, Onsomu to Moses Musala. Musala only knows how to play rugby one way. Drives right in, manages to get down. German over the ball. Onsomu gets it. Biko Adema to Jacob Oje. Oje injects and Oje almost breaks that tackle. Pops it out but lost against the head. Should have just tried to be a bit calm in their resolve there. Bit of angsty argy-bargy work, and the Kenyans look to have been able to consolidate it, and that should be scrum putting for the Kenyans. Interestingly, it takes us 10 minutes for the first scrum. Bit of scrappy work there. Jacob Oje just getting a bit excited, throwing the ball when all should have needed to have been done was to consolidate it. We'll get a chance for the big men in the boiler room to acknowledge and acquaint themselves with each other. We call it the most romantic beat of the rugby match, when the forwards decide to go around and basically acquaint themselves. Samson Onsomu in a picture there on the far side with the scrum put in. Germans on paper looking stronger, definitely with the weight advantage. The Kenyans were 10 days in South Africa.
Getting closer, please. Closer. Closer.
The last fortnight. Samson Onsomu already backing out a couple of calls to the far side. Scrum has been set. Germans definitely sliding over the Kenyans. Onsomu getting the ball out to Biko Adema. Gets it out to Patrice Agunda. Tony Onyango breaks through, easily tackled. Ball over, Patrice Agunda. Odema gets it out. Owila gets it over the top to Chenge. Munyafu does not manage to hold it, and the Germans
First
winning
one from
it.
Black, then the second one from Green.
Kenyans just perhaps guilty of
Off
being a
him.
bit speculative.
Just off him.
Previous scrum showing the German might in the forwards. Wheeler getting the ball out to Chenge. Chenge just popping it out. The Kenyans need to draw it a bit harder. All these balls being popped left and center will not help them at all.
Left. No. Left. Thank you. Mark, left of it.
Last scrum was definitely one that showed the German might in the forwards. Kenyans opting to pick a couple more dynamic players in the forwards department, not what you probably traditionally term as tight-faced players.
Fine.
Samson Nsomu trying to milk the penalty.
Gentlemen,
The referee
carry the body weight.
was definitely
Don't
still
lean in.
making his calls, and Nsomu
Carry
was
the
trying
body
to
weight.
ride that particular call.
Carry the body weight.
Just backing a couple more instructions. Still will be a Kenya put in. No penalty. Succeeded in that particular interchange. Samson Nsomu goes back with the ball in hand.
Crouch. Bind.
So with the ball in hand, the Kenyans set it up.
Sit.
The Germans looking quite keen on the counter shove and definitely shoving past the mark. The referee doesn't take it. Kenyans really scarring out in that scrum. Patrice Agunda gets it out to David Ambunyam. Breaks 1, 2, 3. Oh, he loses the ball out, and just when that last pass was needed, David Ambunya couldn't hold it onto fingers. The Germans with a get out of jail card there. Ambunya just getting that ball shrugged off. Desperate tackle. Doing enough to get the ball off his hands.
Okay, time off. Okay, he's also down.
The Germans already looking like they're heaving. The altitude in Nairobi has never been known to favor teams not accustomed to these conditions.
You okay?
The Kenyans quite keen on trying to take that advantage.
Yeah.
The ball left and center, you can see the heaving bodies. 13 minutes in and already fellows
Right.
clashed over. German bench looking a little more relaxed. Drinking very exotic beverages.
I understand what you're saying, but it's working, so let's put it that way.
Not too certain whether the Kenyan bench has any of those beverages or whether they just have tea. Hopefully some sugar and mandazi.
Time back on.
Scrum ready to be placed in.
Crouch.
Team Menzel, the German scrum half with the ball in hand.
Bind.
Germans have looked very comfortable
Sit.
in
Steady.
the past two scrums. Ball goes in. Not so much of any pressure coming from Kenya. The ball goes out to Samson Nsomu, but the referee calls for the penalty. The wheeling looking quite evident. The Germans almost look like they knew what they were trying to milk there. That should give them a bit more confidence. Let go for the line out. Heavy punt by Parkinson Reina. On the second occasion again, Parkinson Reina doesn't get touched. Bikwadema with the ball gets it out to Patrice Agunda. David Ambunya easily tackled, picks himself up quickly, gets over. Dawi Mukiza does very well. Davis Chenge getting into the tussle, supported by Simon Wanafu. Samson Nsomu, Eric Kere, the try scorer, tackled in the ruck. Bikwadema down to Patrice Agunda. The Kenyans just keep on coming. The Germans keep on tackling. Ball looks to be open. The Germans winning against the head. Spreading out wide in the open. The Germans punting up ahead. Speculative punt. Looks like it has absolutely no chance, but gets it to hand. Walks out, and you could see exactly what that meant to him. Haris Onala had the legs together, but did not have the temerity and the awareness to just stay on the pitch. Punt coming through from number 13, Marcel Kotsier, and Aunala realizing the ball had stepped out and just wasn't too happy with himself. The stamp of the ball onto the ground definitely showing the emotions that he was feeling. Kenya winning the ball, electing to run from deep in the territory. Wilson Kupona, the captain, getting down but almost losing the ball. The scrum half, Samson Nsomu going over. The Germans just definitely not sitting back. challenging for every ball. Bikwadema with a punt from deep. Goes all the way past the 10-meter line. That should be a line out for the Germans. Adem in a picture number 10, running up to the center mark already. Mikhail Chunev, the ball in hand. That was a name that perhaps be more conversant with fellows from the previous Soviet bloc. The ball in hand, gets it up into the air, lost against the head. The try scorer Peter Eric Kere, I beg your pardon. Getting over, the Kenyans really coming in. Karani, Amusala, driving over Musala, isolated. The Kenyans still consolidating. Onsomu, out to Davis Chenge. Kenya still retaining the possession. Onsomu, Adema, gets it out to Agunda. Breaking the pass, but Dan Mukitsa just could not keep it. The referee says the ball went back. Kopondo, the captain, breaking through the center. Wilson Kopondo looks like none will stop him. Indeed he does. The captain's try is good. Kenya scoring the second try. The man in the picture, the captain, Wilson Kopondo. Kenya 10, Germany 3. Samson Onsomu just recovering there. Kopondo just splitting off against his opposite man, the number 4. Marcus Eric, who couldn't make the tackle, and Kopondo, who's turned up previously for the Kenya service team, showing the pace that he has. Angling his lanky frame over. Try good for Kenya. 2 tries in, 10 points to 3. And looking good, the home crowd. Absolutely loving it. 16 minutes played, and already so much action in this game. Darwin Mukidza will be chance at the extra 2 points. Mukidza successful with his first kick after 2 previous unsuccessful attempts. Kenya 12, Germany 3. Can actually see from the replay that the Germans not having a second line of defense, and the Kenyans just knowing that all they need to do is just break the first line to score through. The altitude definitely beginning to show its impact, and the Kenyans looking a little bit more comfortable in this one. Rainer Parkinson with the restart, rises high at the center. Goes up, recovered by Kenya. The try scorer also Kopondo going down. Onsomu. Kere. Mukidza easily tackled into a thumping one. Kenyans doing very well, keeping the ball there. Mukidza was still trying to control the ball from the base of the rack. Not too certain that was done legally. But the Germans picking the ball up. Tongue inch cover, just a bit sloppy from the Kenyans. Wilson Kopondo trying to rip it up, manages to get the ball dislodged, but the Germans still retaining the ball possession somehow. Someone seems to be stuck at the bottom of the pitch in a puddle. The Germans still playing the ball. Good work there from Julius Nostad. Recovered there by Mikhail Chunev. The Kenyans jumping over. Peter Karia trying to get over. The Germans look to be in a puzzle there. And that's a penalty for Kenya. Germans just guilty of shielding the ball in. And good work coming in from Tony Nyango. Peter Karia doing enough to turn over the possession. Thumping hit there from Patrice Agunda. Getting over. Peter Karia did very well. Retained his balance and his body. Simon Munyafu, Dennis Karani and Karia were there to just try and ensure they could slow the ball down. And there's a Kenyan who seems to be in a spot of bother. But Bikwadem already has the ball in hand, keen on trying to get the kick for the line out. We'll let get confirmation on the Kenyan player who looks to be down, but seems to be picking himself up. Both teams with men still sprawled on the grass. Has been a very intense start to this particular game. Kenya the 2 tries, the Germans with the early penalty that seems to have stirred the hornet's nest.
Time is off.
The Kenyans just getting back into it and serving it up to the Germans in grand style.
I've got 21. I play 21. How much have you got? Are you going to continue?
Referee has stopped the clock. Julius Nostad, the loser prop who started it all, seems to be in a spot of bother. Seems to have recovered somewhat. The big man picks his bulky frame up towards the line out.
Safaricom, official communication partner, Isuzu, official automatic partner, Dasani, hydration partner, Zugu, official broadcast partner.
Peter Karia, the dreadlock Kenyan hooker, letting it go up into Simon Munyafu's hands. Almost lost by Eric Kere, manages to retain the possession. Captain Wilson Kupondo barging in. Samson Nsomu to Adema. Adema Damis kicks up. In an immediate rush by Tony Onyango from fullback. Not covered easily, Germans damming, and that should be a bit potent for the Germans. Adema making the tackle. Does very well, goes over, drives. The Germans doing very well, retaining the ball possession. Tim McKeel with the ball. Out to Nostad. Nice cut back in by Popmere Michael, the captain. Dive in from Simon Munyafu, but done illegally. Needs to be very careful. Sin cards being given for such levels of cynicism in the past. The Germans looking like they're slowly getting to the groove. He'd actually have a chat with the German team manager right before the match, asking him what the German players are taking, or rather, what do they eat? And he just mentioned that they eat lots of sausages. They look quite bulkier. We've already seen the ability to muscle it out in the scrum. The Kenyans definitely playing to their strength, looking at utilizing their fitness and the ability to have adapted to the altitude, spraying the ball out wide. So a lineup for the Germans deep within Kenyan territory. Kenyans is having a quick kangaroo court session on trying to see how well to disrupt that.
Mikey, just give them numbers, please.
Interestingly, from the picture, you can see that Biko Adema wore his shot the wrong way out. All the logos for the other teammates at the front, but didn't seem to actually matter. But hey, if it actually works for him, why not? The Germans winning the ball, keeping it up in the center. Michael Lowila breaking through, but not disrupting the Germans, still retaining the ball possession. They eventually go on to deck. Kenyan spreading out wide by the ball, still moving with the Germans. Earning a hard 10 or so meters, breaking through the center. McKeel getting all over. Does it get it down? Held up. Kenyans with a get out of jail card out, and we've seen the Germans dominant in the scrum. You definitely fancy them to get a score with a 5-yard scrum on an attacking platform.
Do you want the scrum instead for held up? You got a penalty. Okay. Collapsing? No, you've already opted.
The Germans elect to go for yet another line out, having realized that perhaps that might be the Achilles heel that they can exploit. Rainer Parkinson kicking up all the way to the 5-meter. The Kenyans will definitely need to try and challenge this one. The Germans have clearly shown the ability to outmuscle them in the forwards. And Simon Munafi looks like he's keen on jumping up, goes up, almost gets it by the Germans, set it back, driving over, has been set very well. Looks to be moving. The elect to go to the open side. That should be an easy try. Do they manage to get over? Making a meal out of it. The Kenyans getting penalized. The referee's arm is outstretched. Germans going up onto the short side, not getting it down, still keeping it up. Getting over, the referee on the backside. The Germans eventually look like they've gone over. Have they? Yes, indeed they have, and the try scored. Germany 8, Kenya 12. Very well worked right there by the Germans. The Kenyans just not having the ability to have any level of control in the forwards. Picking it up from the lineup, driving over, and the referee is having a chat with the Kenyan captain. Of course, the German team manager, the man who looks like he's an extra from the movie The Matrix. Smiling, sheepishly, clapping up. And for once, the crowd at the RFUEA grounds in Nairobi goes bum. Looks to have been an injury in that interplay. The Kenyans not looking too happy with themselves. Looked a bit too easy. Germans just look to have been able to sharpen up on this first of play. Shift the Kenyans left, right, and center. Just trying to place their bodies on, but not really having any ability to stop that onslaught. Ball eventually picked up onto the blind side. Easy try by the Germans. And Iskarani went all the way down, but couldn't stop the Germans from going over and scoring their maiden try in this game. The maiden try in Africa. From the corner, the Germans successfully convert. And the scores are now drawn in. Kenya 12, Germany 10. Biko Adema, the Kenyan flyer, with the ball in hand for the restart. Adema lets it rip deep. Keen on trying to come the Germans in the territory. Not held on the first attempt. Almost tackled by Jacob Oje. Eric Herrera does not make the tackle. The Kenyans budging up. Germans just trying to look for options. Chris Hilsenbeck gets the ball back out. Punt by Rainer Parkinson. Goes dead. Kenyans trying to get it quickly done, but couldn't do that in that occasion. Martin Owila just not picking it up easily, and Samson Onsomu looked to have been caught in two minds on trying to restart it, electing to be wise and just let it ride out for a normal line out. Peter Karia, the Kenyan hooker in your picture there, did lose the first line out against the head. Has been stellar in his execution since then. Ball goes up, lost against the head. The Kenyans rushing up. Owila doesn't pick it up. And the slight hesitation handing the Germans a chance to win the ball against the head. Germans win the ball in the forwards. Moses Amusala making the tackle. Germans still retaining the ball possession. Out into the open. Karia needs to make his tackles. It's moving a bit high. The Germans getting a bit of fluidity. David Ambunya not making the tackle in the first attempt. 20 hard yards picked up from the Germans from the line out. Looking ominous for the Kenyans. Germans getting a bit more space. Thumping tackle, nothing too untoward. Germans still retaining the ball possession. Out in the option, running in front of the fly-off. Did not look like he obstructed it, so that is led to ride. Ball out wide, the Germans deep in the Kenyan territory, near the 22-meter line, popping the ball out wide, twisting and turning, weaving their way in. Ben Ellerman. The Kenyan picking the ball from the base, popping it out wide, cutting back in and almost breaking through. Is the captain, Wilson Kopondo. Patrice Agunda, the number 12, does a wise thing, place it down. The Kenyans have options in the out open areas. Onsomu damming, getting the ball out to Karia. Karia to no one in particular. David Ambunya doing very well to recover that. Awful pass from Karia. Onsomu to Adema. Adema pats it down. Well covered by the Germans. Should be easily placed down for a 22-meter drop. Goes dead, and that should be a scrum all the way back. A bit desperate there by Kenya. Just trying to get the Germans to turn back. The Referee calls for the scrum putting for the Germans back within the Kenyan territory. Bikwa Dema's kick just unfortunately bouncing and going dead past the try box area.
Time off.
On waterboy duties, you might notice the big frame of Joshua Killeen. Huyo tunamwakilisha Kampala.
Ladies and gentlemen, the only task you can control is the one by Dasani, which is our official hydration partner.
Turning out for Newcastle Falcons. He's giving out the water. Pretty certain that he would want to be in this particular mix himself. Yet another Diamond Shaft supporter there. Pretty certain that the mother tells him that you need to stop playing soccer and play rugby. And the fans beginning to start riding up the team again. They've been a bit silent since the Germans scored their try. You can definitely see that the Germans were a bit intimidated earlier on, but seem to have been able to get their flow in this one. And Eric Carey picks himself up. Almost looks like a man being escorted to the dice, to the aisle, I beg your pardon, by his dad. Doesn't look like he'll be able to continue. The man who scored the first try for Kenya, Eric Carey, looks to be on his way out. Be a bit gutting for the young man. And in his place comes the debutant, George Nyambua of Homeboys. Eric Carey, the man who picked the ball in the second minute, dashing an entire 50 meters to score the try. Looks to have had his last bit of action in this game. The Germans, with the scrum put in deep in the Kenyan territory, will be keen on trying to grind yet another score before the interval. Massive scrum from the Germans. Easily getting a Beko Adema with the tackle. The Germans recycle the ball out quickly, spreading it out to the wide open areas. Ambunya trying to track. The ball goes back. Ambunya should be able to pick it up. Does not pick it up. The Kenyans. Mane picked it from Patrice Agunda. Germans just got in 2 minds. Not very sharp on the execution. That's a penalty. Samson Onsomu picking the ball, but elects to perhaps just let it stay on a little bit longer.
Let's go.
Onsomu in your picture there.
You need to speed it up. Let's go. Wasting time.
Biko Adema with the ball in hand. Lets it trip high. Goes deep. Does it make the distance? Looks like it did. That's a beautiful kick from Biko Adema. Turning the Germans, getting Kenya back into their territory, all the way to the 22-meter line.
No, if you guys want to
This
hold it,
definitely
that's
looks
fine.
like
Keep the ball in longer.
a very, very potent attacking option
Keep the ball
position
in
from the
longer. You guys
Kenyans.
want the-
Tekaria will need to be very calm on his execution. We have seen him losing a couple of liners, the Germans being very quick to counter-read all the calls that he's been making. Every time he hesitates, they've been able to win against the head. Karia getting the ball to Munyafu, somehow recovered by Davis Chenge. Onsomu marshalling out wide. He's got Kopondo. Kopondo breaking through the first and the second. The ball is lost in contact. The Germans having it. Dreadful work there. Bit gutting for the Kenyans.
Bounce it over.
Germans kicking straight to Tony Onyango. Runs straight. Eventually tackle Onyango. Places it up on the platform. Patrice Agunda picking it up. Riding all the way. Gets it back into David Ambunya. Ambunya keeps it. Onsomu. He's got options out wide. Gives it to Nyambua, the man who's got into the field of play. Onsomu spreads it out. Martin Owila has Peter Karani there. Onsomu picks the ball, but looks to have been dislodged. The Germans punting it, charge down off the back of Munyafu. Ambunya almost picking it up, but the referee decides to hold it up for a scrum putty for the Germans.
The current game Kenya taking on Germany and
Seems to be a bit of injury concerns. The paramedics walking over to the Germans. Definitely hope that there isn't much damage. Has been a game that has been played with certain level of feisty resolve. Nothing untoward happening so far. Maybe just the hassle of the matches. Intensity beginning to show its face within both sets of players. Scrum put in for the Germans. The Kenyans have just been unable to dislodge any level of rhythm from the German forwards, especially within the scrums and the molds. The Germans will definitely be smiling like Cheshire cats, knowing that this will be one that will be easily ridden. In your picture there, a couple of tense Kenya fans.
Yeah. Crouch. Fine. Sit.
Tim Menzil places the ball in. The scrum half. Germans dreading up in. Yari Dels controlling it very well from the number 8 position. Yari Dels rides the penalty, eventually getting a chance to keep the Germans off from deep territory. The Kenyans have been totally unable to withstand the pressure of that very solid German scrum. Wilson Kopondo, not too certain what exactly is telling the referee. Maybe asking them to, maybe ask him to intercede on behalf of the Kenyans, asking the Germans to release on the intensity. Chris Hilsenberg, the flyer, with the chance to get the Germans a bit of a platform, goes all the way to the center mark for Alana Putin with less than 5 minutes left in this half.
You find me?
Mikhail Chunev gets his man, goes to the back. The Germans riding on through. Kenyans tackling in, trying to cause themselves as a nuisance. The Germans just doing enough. Nyambua with his tackle, driving and hitting. Nyambua getting over but holding on to it. That's a penalty against Nyambua. The Germans with yet another chance to get deep within the Kenyan territory. Not well done in as far as execution is actually concerned.
Need to change behavior.
And Chris Hilsenberg, the man with the number 10 jersey, this time elects to go towards his right hand side. Looks up, but not a better kick. A bit desperate, just looking like he wanted to get the touch, which eventually does, but not so much distance. The Germans with yet another line at Putin. No relation to Vladimir Putin.
Open them up, please.
Mihail gets the ball up into the almost picked up by Simon Munyafu. Eric Marks picking it up, placing it down. The Germans rolling this one. It looked like they're actually falling onto the deck. The referee did not call it. Kenyans looking a little bit concerned about that. The German force still rampaging up forwards. Catching the Kenyans up in C7s. Martin Owilo goes up, picks it up. That is definitely a penalty. Well done to Martin Owilo, putting his hands in good time. What looked to have been a promising platform for the Germans. This ends there, Martin Owila placing his hands, making himself a total nuisance, and penalty for Kenya, chance for them to get a bit more distance from the try line. Biko Wolfgang Adema with a mighty kick. Looks to have gone all the way past the halfway meter line. Indeed it has. The Kenyans with a chance to try and mount something up of an attack with about 2 odd minutes before the halftime interval. Peter Curry, the Kenyan hooker with the ball in hand, looked to have Throw that one short to Nyambua. Carrier picks it back. Dummies, gets the ball out wide, but doesn't get to the hands. I do not know why he actually popped the ball out wide, and he seemed to already been in a corner to be able to place it out on the platform. He's getting caught in two minds. Initially popping the ball to Nyambua, Nyambua back to him, and just caught in two minds. Looked like he wanted to dummy without pass on the first occasion. And the hesitation, just not able to get the ball to the hands of Simon Munyafu. The Germans will be smiling, because a scrum is definitely what the doctor would have ordered for them.
Crouch.
Tim Menzil,
Bye.
the German scrum half, with the scrum put in.
State.
The Germans easily just driving over, trying to milk yet another penalty. This time picking up, easily handled by Davis Chenge. Tim Akil, scrum half. Easily led by Dennis Karani. Nyambua trying to motion the forwards to come up. Germans more than happy to play a slow ball. McKeel eventually kicks over the head. Easily captured by Tony Onyango, driving past the first and the second, doing very well, holding onto the ball, place it down. A quick ball will be needed out in the open areas. Adema checks left, right. Agunda gets the ball out to Mukiza. Easily handled Mukiza, gets the ball to the deck. Onsomu gets the ball out to Simon Munyafu. Munyafu just pats the ball out wide. I do not know why he did that. Kenyans getting over the ball, but the Germans are there in numbers. Should be easily one for them. Not too sure why the Kenyans are getting a bit excitable and throwing the ball in the forwards. And the Germans on the onslaught, running up and about. Martin Awila goes up, does not make his tackle. Stepping in, Biko Ademo with the touch. Great tackle coming up. The knock-on just sparing the blushes for the Kenyans. And the Germans are definitely growing in confidence and showing exactly what they're capable of. Riding off and jumping off the first tackle. Ben Ellerman, eventually Biko Adema doing enough to get in there, making the first and the second tackle. How about that for super defense? The referee blows the whistle for the halftime interval. At the interval, Kenya with a slight advantage, 2 points, leading this one 12 points to 10.
I can't say anything of this.
Winning!
Stop it!
Stunning.
This is the home of the champions.
You're good. Like to catch this and lots more. Call us or visit our website and get your connection today.
Hi, I'm William Baka, Kenya Sevens player, and you're watching Zuku Sports.
Experience a wide range of documentaries on Zuku. Venture into the wild, unravel mysteries, crime, and experience life from another perspective. Watch this wide range of award-winning documentaries on Zuku.
This could be fun.
Zuku Documentary Channel.
Available on Zuku Classic or Premium packages.
I've known many great men in my life, but only one Colossus.
King isn't born. He's made. Whoa!
I don't care about his face, so I care about his pockets. Once he has money, Johnson.
We'll always be there for each other.
Available on Zuku Classic or Premium packages.
Come here, everybody. Look at this. Look.
Ready, set, and go! What around? Jump about and have a jolly good race.
Available on Zuku Classic and Premium packages.
Hi, I'm Augustine Lugonzo, Kenya Sevens player. You're watching Zuku Sports. Cheers.
Sending a very aggressive derby step team, take care, sets out two defenders. And that will be the very return again. Possession, Alex Onamba picking the ball. This could be the biggest goal of the day.
Hey there! Would you like to manage your Zuku account better? Well, we have introduced a quick service for you. An easy and convenient way of accessing our services 24/7. Just dial *502# to 1. Check your balance. 2. Upgrade your account. 3. Report a problem. And 4. Request for a call back. You can do this wherever you are in no time. You can also visit our website www.zuku.co.ke, My Account section, and register to manage your account. Zuku, redefining the customer care experience. Zuku, amazing digital TV.
Available on Zuku Classic or Premium packages. Available on Zuku Classic and Premium packages.
He hated women. He wanted women dead. I could not yell out for help.
It wasn't about the killing for him. It was about keeping them under his control.
These kings murdered, betrayed, and tyrannized their way to spectacular success.
Available on Zuku Classic or Premium packages.
Come here, everybody. Look at this. Look.
Ready, set, and go! Run around, jump about, and have a jolly good race.
Available on Zuku Classic and Premium packages.
Hi, I'm Augustine Lugonzo, Kenya Sevens player. You're watching Zuku Sports. Cheers.
And welcome back to the second half of this particular game. The first of its kind in history. Kenya versus Germany. The Kenyans with a slight 12-10 advantage at the interval. The Germans is showing that they can mix it out with the best in the forwards. Perhaps very unfortunate on their execution. You just get a feeling that if they had perhaps been able to go on through and do the feeble German execution, they'd have definitely been controlling this one. 40 minutes separating these two sides. Very little to separate them in the first half. The Kenyans just being a bit scrappy, totally being outmuscled the forwards. Right from the get-go, Kenyans looking like they were elected to have fleet-footed running forwards. And their inability to be able to try and stabilize the forwards has been one of the Achilles heels. The Germans capitalizing on that, scoring off a rolling maul and definitely putting a lot of pressure on the Kenyan scrum. New picture there, Biko Adema, the Kenyan flyer with the ball in hand, set to kick off, having a chit-chat with the center referee. Incidentally, Biko Adema also has some German roots in his genetic code. His mom originally from Germany, but definitely playing an all-out standard performer for Kenya. Has been out of the national 15th team for close to about a decade, but comes back in and looks to be fitting in like a glove. Doesn't look to be quite perturbed at not having been in the play for a while. Adema lets it right into the air. Easily cut by the Germans. Stepping in, Wilson Kopondo. Just letting that tackle ride off. Jacob Oje making a meal of that. Looked to have actually held it at the first go. Did not. Onyango getting over. Kodema there to support him. Oje goes to the backside. The Germans driving over. Moses Amusala, the Kenyan loser prop in the unfamiliar position of a scrum half. George Nyambua getting in. Looks a bit more stable. Wilson Kopondo getting in, driving over. Onsomu gets it out to Nyambua. Kenyans look to have been told to play a little bit more structured, trying to get the Germans in, to suck them into the defense. Adema lets it right into the air. Should be easily covered. Indeed it is. The Germans looking at picking up spot. Haris Onala getting the ball out to Ben Ellerman. Bitsi Ellerman making some interesting breaks towards the end of the first half. Doing very well, placing the ball to the deck. Tim Menzel out to Chris Sissenbeck. The Germans having a bit more fluidity in the attack. Darwin Mukiza, desperate tackle, giving the ball to David Ambunya, who picks it up. Doesn't have the speed, gets it to Bikodema, loses the ball, goes back. The Germans picking it up. Dangerous for the Kenyans. The Germans running up. Darwin Mukiza trying to make all the way. Does he get there? No, he doesn't. The Germans scoring. And you just got a feeling that it was about to happen. The Germans taking advantage of the Kenyans' crappy play, scoring the try. Germany getting to the lead. Kenya 12, Germany 15. Not too sure why David Ambunya just missing that ball, and don't see very many people are sprinting down. Mukiza made the tackle but a bit too late. In this case, CB teammate Martin Owilo was there, but it was a little bit too late in the game. Germany getting out in this one, 15 points, Kenya 12 with the conversion set to come. A bit speculative with their passing. The Nyamans placing themselves in positions to hurt the Kenyans. That is one of the softer tries that we've seen in this game. The conversion is not successful. The scores remain Kenya 12, Germany 15. That was a moment of madness. Wilson Kupondo looked to have made the tackle, but Jari Dels, the German number 8, his support, quite of all, Midami Ukiza going for the tackle a bit too late. Martin Owila, very, very lucky not to have been sent off. They almost looked to have taken the man off the head. The Germans throw the gauntlet like they did in the first of the Kenyans. We'll have to chase this one. Bikodemo with a deep kick. Tim McKeel picks the ball, runs through the center. Easily covered on the tackle by Wilson Kupondo. Samson Nsomu making his tackle as well. Every single tackle will count. Tim McKeel, it's the ball high up. Covered by Martin Owila. Tackle, Adema breaks through the first and the second, gets it out to Simon Muniafu. Muniafu looking for players out, no one availing. Muniafu places the ball out. Slow ball not coming out quickly. Onsomu gets it out to Nyambua. Almost loses the ball, eventually picking it up. Nyambua gets the ball outside. Onsomu, Amusala takes it in, drives through. Takes 2 men to bring it down out wide. Onsomu, Karani loses it up, but the referee had a penalty advantage for the Kenyans. Dennis Karani won't be too happy with himself.
14.
He's not managing to hold the ball, controlling it, losing it out, but as fate would have it, there was a penalty advantage being played. The Kenyans will have a chance to hit out at the line out. The ball goes well to the back, picked up easily, covered, but does that look like it went straight? That should be a turnover. As expected, the Germans will definitely call the scrum put in. Has been one of the stronger facets of the game.
Inside, crouch, high, six.
Timenzil, the scrum rough, places the ball in. The Germans easily driving over, is keeping the ball on, trying to ride on the penalty. The penalty is ready, being milked out. Ball is spread on outward. They do not need to ride on the penalty. They've already gone 10 meters. The Germans definitely looking much stronger in the second half. Kenyans looking a bit disjointed. Samson and so pick the ball back. The referee calls for the penalty. Not too sure why the whistle is being blown and looked like it had already been exhausted, the advantage that is. German just getting a chance to slowly get back. They should be able to easily punt the ball out for a line out from deep within their territory. Nothing seems to be working for the Kenyan Simbas in the opening minutes of the second half. The Germans, however, look to be suffering under the altitude and the heat. Coming up from summer and fall season with chillier temperatures, this must be very harsh tropical weather for them. That notwithstanding, still commanding in the lead and definitely controlling this one where it really matters most, in the boiler room. The Germans making their fourth change in the forwards. The tropical heat and the altitude eventually beginning to take its toll. But that amounts to nothing if the execution by the Kenyan Simbas is not up to scratch. Still retaining the pole possession. Passing left and center. German fullback Haris Onila comes in. Looked to have almost ridden forward. Thumping hit in there, but loses the ball on contact. That should be a Kenyan scrum. Not too certain whether that will inspire them, because we already know how it's been working up in the forwards. The Germans have literally been, for lack of a better word, owning the Kenyans in the forward face. Hard handoff from the Kenyan captain, Kopondo, but did enough to ensure that the ball was actually wrestled off his wrist. That should be an easy scrum put in for the Kenyans. The Kenyans making a change. On comes Oscar Simiyu, out is Dennis Karani. Hoping that Oscar Simiyu will be able to, actually Dennis Karani stays on it. Moses Amusala walks out and Oscar Simiyu comes into the tighted position. Samson Osom with the ball in hand. Simiyu doesn't seem to be faring any better. Kenyans really being owned. George Nyamboy just having a present mind to pick the ball up. Onsomu getting it out. Chenge driving up. Let's the ball out on the deck. Onsomu. Kopondo. The Kenyan captain doing very well, earning very hard yards. Onsomu. Chenge to Mukiza. Mukiza is gone. Mukiza is gone. Breaks the first and the second. Mukiza looks to be isolated. Gets the ball out to Onsomu. And the Kenyans look to be on course to score in the first and the second half. Onsomu is the man, the diminutive Kenya number 9. Scores a try. Kenya 17, Germany 15. And the celebration shows exactly what he missed them. Kenya getting to the lead. Samson Onsomu showing a clean pair of heels, scoring the third try for Kenya. Mukiza broke through the first, but covered down by Team Nickel. Mukiza had the presence to ensure that he kept the ball in, popped it out to Onsomu, and the man with the rat tail at the back did his little jig, diving up into the air, and he could see what that freedom meant to him. Down Mukiza, the man who started with a chance to add an extra 2 points. Successful. Kenya 19, Germany 15. Could see the crowd just rising up, knowing exactly what Darren Mukiza is capable of. Mukiza doing very well, returning the ball in, and how about that for support play from Samson Onsomu? Game looks to be still quite open. The Germans have shown that they have the ability to get back in. We would have expected it to have been fully won out at this junction of the game, but they've been able to still slug it in, keeping it up, controlling it. Mukiza picking the ball, breaking through the first and the second, going to the forwards. Looked to have landed awkwardly. Onsomu, the try scorer, gets it out. Simiu. Onsomu. Patrice Agunda. Caught in two minds, eventually getting out to David Ambunya. Ambunya elects to run. Tony Onyango breaks through the first and the second. Almost isolated. Ambunya gets in. The Germans not committing any members into the racks. Wilson Kopondo twisting and turning, doing very well. Popping it out to Simiu. Do not think that would have been the wisest thing for him to have done. The Germans just positioned, ready on trying to place himself for an attack. But the referee has called in that particular scrum put in. Wilson Kopondo looks to have come off worse in that interchange, holding onto his shoulder. Wilson Kopondo, having spent 2 seasons away from the national team setup after an injury sustained in Namibia, makes a return to the team. It would be unfortunate if he gets injured, and in comes Oliver Nijak Mangeni, the man with the number 19 shirt, and the captain Wilson Kopondo looks to have done his time in this particular one. The Germans still dominating the Kenyans in the forwards. Of course, losing Wilson Kopondo, big blow for Kenya. Has been very solid for the Kenyans. Oliver Mangeni, a player who's much lighter than Kopondo, who loves to run in the wide open areas, comes in. Tim Menzil, the German scrum off with the ball in hand.
Point. Sit.
Menzil plays the ball in. The Germans still driving up, trying to milk the penalty of the Kenyans. Could see Simiu just turning, and the referee says a pop back up. Asks for a reset. Simiu's positioning in the scrum is a bit suspect. Not just keeping his line on the take. And most referees have actually been able to ping him up for a penalty.
I'll give you time, don't worry.
It's a bit of an issue. Simiu looks like he probably has 6 or 7 inches of height, taller than Dennis Karani.
Crouch.
That usually faces a tough prospect in trying to ensure that the scrum remains straight.
Sit. Steady here.
The Germans easily gliding over this one. The Kenyans retaining the possession. The Germans really try to milk this particular penalty off. The Kenyans holding this, eventually milked out. The hand goes out wide, but the Germans getting the ball out wide. Spreading it up. Couple of face plays.
The advantage over.
Aunila, fullback, kicks it up. Bounces agonizingly over down Mukidza, but the Kenyans recover. That should easily be taken out for a line out. Tony Onyango looked to have held it, but lost it somehow. The Germans still in possession, deep within the Kenyan territory.
Use it.
Tim Menzil calling in a couple of his players. Come on, thumping tackle coming in from Davis Chenge. Taking absolutely no prisoners. The body count seems to be piling up. Oscar Simiu with the tackle. Menzil still trying to get a couple of the Germans into a bit of attacking positions. Kenyans pummeling over. A chip over the head, and this definitely looked quite potent. The Germans almost looked to have controlled it, but lost it out. Agonizing for the Kenyans. Jacob Oje stays down, not too sure if he's actually injured. Oh, that's basically a calming moment. How about that for a deft kick? Chris Hilsenberg just seeing that there was an advancing Kenyan defense line kicking over, and you could see in your picture there on the replay, one of the spectators is holding his chin. Interesting call. Looks like the Kenyan player took it out, and it's been called in as a Kenyan scrum put in. Will be interesting to see how the Kenyans react in this position. Philippi Kambili getting in to replace Peter Kare in the hooker position. The man who plays his club rugby at Homeboys. Samson Onsomu will have the responsibility to ensure that this is cleanly done. The Germans have been very rampaging in the forwards. they'll be keen to try and milk another one off this one. Onsomo gets the ball in, the Kenyans quickly pick it out right. Martin Owila does very well, almost isolated, picked up again by Nyambua, stepping his way through. Nyambua doing very well in an army of black shirts. Onsomo gets it out to Davis Chenge. Chenge still with the ball. Onsomo looked to have actually had a bit more speed. The ball is down for the Germans. They pick it up, the referee says it's okay. The Kenyans diving over, trying to make it a play ball. Menzil out. Tackle is over, the Germans still with the ball, kicking it back down. Dain Mukiza trying to make his way back. Looks to be able to pop the ball back up, but the Germans still in possession. Looking very, very disjointed for the Kenyans. The Germans sniffing blood, looking keen on trying to make it count. Menzil looking for numbers out wide, none coming. Into George Nyambua. You do not do that to a man who can actually tackle the whole day and twice on Sunday. The Germans still with the ball possession, trying to fancy their way out wide in the open. Martin Owila shoots up, did not make the initial tackle. Still a bit of Humpty Dumpty affair. The Germans retain the ball possession. The Kenyans piling all over, very disjointed. Out into the left side of the pitch. The Germans retain the possession. Oliver Nijak Mangeni makes a tackle. The Germans looking ominous, getting the ball out wide. Tackle by Tony Onyango. Very important on coming in through. Darwin Mukiza. That is a sure turnover by Darwin Mukiza. Great work from the winger. You don't get to see very many wingers doing that. Getting over the rack and winning the ball possession. So that man Darwin Mukiza showing the heart and the presence of mind required end. Samson Onsomo with a punt up high, but doesn't do enough in as far as relieving the pressure on a level of territory is concerned. And the bodies left all over the pitch show the entire story of what that interchange did to those men. Following us from across the continent, we'd like to say thank you very much. Kasembi Mwangangi from Dubai, thank you for joining us. Bit of a stoppage in play. It's trying to ensure that both teams can look to the relative safety of their players.
Someone.
The Germans letting this one go through. They have the numbers, the Kenyans. Wabi disjointed. Looking very, very positive for the Germans. They're still moving the ball up forward. Kenyans not having any ability whatsoever to stop it. The Kenyans eventually dislodging the ball, picked up by Oscar Simiyu, driving his way through. Biko Adema from the base gets it out wide. The Kenyans looking to run from deep in the territory. The ball is out wide, and they look on. Jacob Oje is gone, and that looks to be a coast-to-coast ride. Jacob Oje, does he have the speed? Oje is caught up with, agonizingly close and picks it up. David Abunya. How about that for a coast-to-coast glorious try? Kenya 24, Germany 15. David Abunya, the try scorer, after some great speed by Jacob Oje. Jacob Oje in the picture is doing very well. That extra step just doing enough to get Ben Ellerman to him, and Ellerman doing very well just getting back into Oje. Oje jigging in a bit too early, making early easy for Ellerman getting back, having a bit of mind to look his way up, giving the ball to David Ambunya. He does what he's done. On a couple of Kenya, Ambunya loves it. You can see the green on his face, and they absolutely love it. Darwin Mukiza with a chance to have the extra two. Mukiza show the extra to Kenya 26, Germany 15. And with 18 minutes left in the game, the Kenyans will be keen on trying to ensure that they can play possession rugby. Jacob Oje doing very, beating the first element and the second, Haris Unala, before Element recovered to make the tackle. But Jacob Oje doing very well, just knowing that there was someone coming up, popping the ball in good time, and Ambunya. How about that for support play? Super try by the Kenyan backline. Chris Wilson back to the kickoff. Recovered by Mukiza. Looking to run in Mukiza, kicking over. Rushing up, easily covered by the Germans. Kicking right back to where Mukiza used to be before that particular. But Oliver knee-jerk Mangeni, how about that? For a thumping dive. The Kenyans doing well. Patrice Gunda converting his backline experience into forward grit. Doing enough to return the possession on Somu. The Kenyans still stuck in the territory of the Germans, just trying to grind this one. So that one goes out for a line out. The trophies on the table there for the win of this particular test. Still a bit of time left in this one. About 17 odd minutes. The Germans have been able to keep up with the intensity.
Open up, please. Open up. Open up. Give them the numbers.
Kenyan flyer Biko Adema steps out, having a bit of ice on his calf. Has had a very heavy shift. The Germans still trying to place up a couple of facets of play in there. Thumping hit on Kelvin Masai. Looked to have gone a bit too high. Definitely got his just rewards. Martin Owila trying to go over. Nyambua just shooting up, not making the tackle. Masai this time makes a tackle. Nyambua almost getting the ball. The Germans getting a jink. Strong defending by Jacob Oje, just standing his ground literally. Nyambua going over. The tackle was high by Oje. Penalty against the Kenyans, and the Germans will definitely be kicking up towards the line out. Has been one of their favorite facets of play, and has definitely also worked out to their advantage. Chris Wilson back. Kicks it up for a line out. The Germans need to actually make a score soon to try and get themselves back into this one. The Germans stole the ball, almost losing it, eventually recovered. The Kenyan Simbas just putting the bodies all over, but the Germans seem to have formed quite well. They pop out wide. Was it a bit too premature? Held up in the tackle. Kenyan Simbas just stepping up all the forwards into that corner of the pitch. Saving the try for now. The Germans starting again. The referee calling for the offside. The Kenyans just creeping in. Not in any hurry, already knowing that they have the penalty. They'll definitely be looking at having yet another line out and having another bite at the cherry. The Kenyan Simbas defense line doing well so far, holding off the barrage of attack after attack. Germans spreading the ball out wide. Patrice Gunda shot up. The ball was ripped off in the tackle by Onsomu, but the referee has called for the previous infringement. Or is it a try? Looks like the try is successfully scored. The Germans have scored, closing in. Germany 20, Kenya 26. Definitely looks like it's a pound-for-pound battle. The Germans just not fading away, scoring one immediately, getting themselves back into this one. Chris Hilson back. The chance at the extra 2 points. Successful. Germany 22, Kenya 26. They're back to a 4-point game. Still open. The difference has been the ability to grind it out in the folds that the Germans have been very able to do over and over again. The Kenyans' body language just tells you that they really did not want that to happen. Kenyans kicking in deep. Patrice Agunda leaves the field of play for Australian-based Leo Sejawade, who also makes his debut for the Kenya national team. Chris Hilson-Beck is clapping his hands, trying to spur his teammates on. It's a 4-point margin. Anything still could happen potentially in this game. Philip Kambili, the Kenyan hooker, throws the ball all the way back to Oliver Mangeni. Martin Owila drives himself in. Needs to just have a bit of control. The referee has called for a high tackle. And there should be yet another line out for the Kenyans, this time closer to the try line. The absence of Biko Adem, a bit of hesitation. None of the Kenyan Simbas backline players coming in to kick. Up steps Darwin Mukiza. Kelvin Masai eventually realizes that he's a number 10. Not too sure if that is a hairstyle or whether he forgot to comb. Probably need a comb sponsor for some of the national team setups. Darwin Mukiza eventually sets himself up, lets one rip high into the air. Looks to have gone. Oh, he did not go dead. The Germans have a chance to come back from deep in the 22. Should be a line out somewhere near the 10-meter line. Indeed, that should be the case. Mukiza's looking for distance, not levels of accuracy. The Germans returning the favor. Oliver Mangeni easily wins that on the Kenyans, budging up. Looked to have lost that one easily in the rack. Held up by the Germans. Onsomu recovers. Driving over is Davis Chenge. Onsomu. Ikambili, the muscle man, shrugging, twisting and turning. Onsomu not getting the clean ball he'd have required. Simi over. Masai gets the ball out to Seje Wade. Onsomu. Ikambili steps in, shrugs off, does well, keeps his own. Onsomu. Sejo Wade drives over. Thumping run by Sejo Wade. Gets the ball back out wide. Onsomu, he's got options out wide. Tony Onyango gets the ball to Darwin Mukiza. Steps in Mukiza off one and the second. Goes down. Should be a tackle. Should be let to place that ball. Onsomu. Chenge. Chenge does well. Oliver Mangeni came in support but just knocked off Chenge. Simiu. Simiu on deck. Kenya Simbas slowly but surely making it work for themselves. Owade stepping off. Still returning the ball. The Germans throwing the bodies desperately all over. Referee has already called for a penalty advantage. Samson Onsomu riding it up. Not too sure they'll go for the 3 points or whether they elect for the line out. Definitely looks like it's from a kickable position. Little under 10 minutes still left on the clock. The Germans still in this one. Haven't seen a team as competitive as the Germans. Definitely just held their own over and over again. The Kenyans keep on scoring, the Germans keep on coming back. Darwin Mukiza angling himself up for the extra 3 points. Big moment of tension. Mukiza placing up the ball, going back. You can see the Germans already trying to spur each other on. In your picture, Hen Marcel, the number 20 jersey. Mukiza kicks it. Successfully done. Kenya extended the lead 29 points, Germany 22, 7 points. Still not done. Could be anyone's game. Not too sure whether the Simbas are keen on trying to ensure that they can retain defense as the best form of defense, offense rather. Sergio Wade coming in there. That's where the penalty was done. After the ball was placed, the obstruction, yes, coming in there from the number 22, Hen Marcel. That's a bit tricky of him. Allowing Kenya to add the extra 3 points. Ball kicked up high. Not so certain why Oliver Mangeni did not pick the ball. Slowly rides out, 2-touch. Should be a line out throw in for Kenya. Germans don't seem too convinced about that. They have a bit of a huddle. But will probably turn a kangaroo court session. Kenyan with a totally changed front row in the second half. Bramwell Mayaka, Oscar Simeon, Philippi Kambili coming in. Ball picked up by the Germans. They're keen on trying to set something up from the base of the mall. Driving up. The ball is out wide. Kenyans not too sure. Not keeping up. The man who caused the penalty, Marcel, going up. Tackled by Sergio Wade. The tackle coming in from the Kenyans desperately. The Germans are running in through there at the center. Almost looking to try and milk up a penalty on the tackle. The Germans still out wide. Marcel. The fly up. That should be an easy try. The Germans get in. They score. The Germans angling into this one. Germany 27, Kenya 29. This is not done by any means whatsoever. Haris Unala, the try scorer for the Germans. With a chance to draw this one level, the conversion. Tense moments for the fly half. Chris Hilsenbeck. The Germans definitely giving as much as they're getting. The difference has been the ability to grind out the balls in the forwards. Facet of play that the Kenyans have been totally outmuscled and outplayed in this one. To be quite honest, really taken to school. All pun intended. Hilsenbeck with the chance at the extra 2 points. Hilsenbeck lets it in, but it does not go in. So Kenyans with a very slight advantage, a 2-point advantage. They'll definitely need to go around and score now. The Germans have shown time and time again the ability to grind out scores every time they cross and visit Kenyan 22. Attention on some of the Kenyan fans showing it all. Has definitely not been a good game for the Kenyans in the forwards. Kelvin Masai with the ball in now to restart this one. Kicking off his left foot, going deep. All the past the 22 with a very good kickoff. Easily returned by the Germans. Tony Onyango picks that one up. Looks out wide in the open areas. Sports, Masai. Dennis Muhanji goes to Aka. Goes into deck. Looks to have lost the ball. Kenyan Samo managed to retain it. Almost looked like Muhanji had been isolated. Oscar Simiyu getting over. The Germans just literally spilling their bodies all over. George Nyambua getting in. Gets the ball out on Somu. Bramwell Mayaka, the man with the long beard. On Somu. Masai. Owade takes 3 men. Still breaks and rides through the tackle. Masai, that should be a penalty. Referee lets it play. Not too sure what that was all about. The Germans just piling up bodies, milking one, and that should be an interesting moment. Referee has called out for a penalty. Martin Owila almost looked like he just went and smashed the head of the German oncoming player. The Germans still retain the ball possession somehow. The whistle has been blown and Martin Owila might be in a bit of problems here. Referee calling for the penalty. So let it go on the tackle, and we'll be interested if the Germans will let go for the 3 points on the line out. The referee is walking up towards Martin Owila.
Okay, I didn't see anything, so I'm relying on you on the information.
There's a dangerous tackle above the shoulders by number 8.
By number 8?
Immediately straight above the shoulders.
So it's above the shoulders? Yes. You're talking yellow?
Yes.
Number 8.
Number 8.
All right, thank you.
And the referee is already touching his pockets. This will definitely not be good.
Okay, reporters, it's a hard tackle, it's dangerous, going yellow.
Whoa, you're
Yep.
lucky. No, isn't the one?
Eh?
No, on the other should be. It was which number?
Number 8. Number 8. Number 8. Number 8. Sorry. Are you number 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Dangerous tackle. Go on. Let's go.
Kenya reduced to 14
Sorry, guys, getting tense. That's all.
Martin
Yet another man in the forwards.
tackle. Penalty to Germany.
The Germans look like they're electing to go for the extra 3 points. Will be very interesting to see what will transpire in the last 4 minutes of this game.
Just make sure they're onside, okay?
I'm going for the ball, and I'm honest. Normally you're much quicker than today. You're playing with a few moves, trying to give the guys a chance.
No. It's about the clean-off.
That's what I think.
Chris Hilson back. The man with the pressure kick. This will give the Germans a 1-point lead. Hilsen kicks it. It goes wide. The Kenyans can spare the blushes. This will be a very critical last 3 minutes for the Kenyans. They'll need to kick this one deep, and just a moment of madness, a rush of blood to the head from Martin Owila. Going with that's actually a red card. Red cards have been issued for similar sort of hits, and you could see the demonstration from the Germans immediately.
You've got about five or four.
A card was definitely on the cards. The question was the color, and definitely the referee, if you actually ask me, in my opinion, has been very lenient. Mukiza, the kickoff, kicks it deep. The plan would be try and keep the Germans back in, but they already knew Awinala, the fullback, switching the ball out wide. Dennis Muhanji with a tackle. Nyambua. The Germans pummeling the bodies there. Kenyans will try and ensure that they can keep the Germans hard in the territory. But the soft tackles are not doing them any justice. Germans still coming in hard. The precision coming in towards the latter stages of the game after a very scrappy opening half. Breaking on through the tackle, still coming. Oh, Leo Sejawade diving over. That looked to have actually been a penalty. Indeed it is. He got the ball but dived over. Well called by the referee, and the Germans will be keen on trying to get a line out and drive this over. We've seen this obviously being one of their strong points. They've elected to go for the 3 points instead of the line out. Very curious call. 2 minutes left on the clock. Body spread all over. The Germans believe that they can still nick this one off with a 3-point kick from about 40 meters out. Tense moments. The technical bench definitely also showing a bit of tension. They change the kicker. They bring in the
that, but speak slower and louder. I can't say
substitute,
anything.
Jamie Murphy. Bulky frame. Absolutely zero wind up around in the air. Places some blades of grass up. Jamie Murphy with a pressure kick. Looks towards his boots. Angles down. Wipes his brow. Looks back up. Lets it rip. Will this the man? Will this be the man? 20 for the Germans. It doesn't go through. And the Kenyans scrape through yet again. There's still a minute still left on the clock. The Germans are literally throwing the proverbial kitchen sink, but nothing seems to be working. The Kenyans would used to one man. Dine Mukids are not in any hurry to restart this one. Needs to be very careful. Could get penalized for that. Seconds agonizing left on the clock. The Germans not letting this one go. Mukidza with a massive boot all the way getting the Germans back into the half. The Germans rushing back up. Kenyans making the tackles. Bramwell Mayaka spreading out wide. German flap making the tackle. Masai shrugging up and about. Sergio Wade needs to be careful. Has been penalized already.
No.
The Germans retain the ball possession. Murphy looked to have almost been won by the Kenyans. The Germans recovering. Still retain the possession. A cross kick. Seeing no one home. Bounces up. Goes off dead. Luckily, the time is up on the clock. Is that the final whistle?
When it's touch.
The referee calls for the knock-on.
Captain option.
That will definitely be a plus for the Germans. They could actually scrummage this one over and win it. Kenya's looking like they've elected to get the line out.
Numbers.
Looks to be a sure facet of their game on the scrum. Speculative punt across. The Kenyans doing well to retain it. Davis Chenge gets it. Samson Onsomu gets it out wide. Then Mukidza kicks it out into the touchline. Surely that should be the last one of this game, or is it not?
Can I get a time check, please?
The referee looks to be consulting on the far side. Not too sure what that is all about. Seems to be getting a bit of information.
30 seconds.
The man of the notice chair, Martin O'Wheeler, must be feeling a bit angsty. Never is a comfortable position to sit on. You almost feel like bees are literally biting you. The Kenyans almost winning that one against the head. The Germans trying to pummel pressure, knowing that this has been one of the things that has worked for them. Kenyans desperately putting bodies in. The Germans still gaining momentum, gaining the speed, trying to milk a penalty. The referee has his arms out wide, knowing that the final loose has been bought, but there's a penalty for the Germans again. Arms outstretched. A drop kick. Will it be the one? It goes up high. Does it have the accuracy? The kick is successful, and the Germans win it. Germany win this one at the death. Germany 30, Kenya 29. How about that for a dramatic finish with the last kick? Chris Silzenbeck secures for the Germans, and what a memorable win for the Germans. The last kick, literally the last minute of drama, wins it for them. And how about that for commitment? To 14 men with minutes left on the clock. Congratulations to the Germans, commiserations to Kenya. And what a way to start the 15th season. Next up, we'll have the presentation a little while, but we'll let you soak up the moments on the screen. The Germans absolutely loving their win on African soil. A well-fought and well-deserved 30-29 win against Kenya. The German supporters absolutely enjoying it, celebrating on the far side. A couple of Kenyan fans not too sure whether they should actually join them in or perhaps buy them a beer to keep them quiet. But what a game of rugby. Absolute action, end to end, right from the start till the end. Treated to very, very great rugby. And the Germans definitely deserved winners in this one, winning by 1 point, 30-29. Picture there, just a couple of the action points that we've enjoyed in this game. Both sides giving as much as they did receive. But just got a feeling that the moment when the most experienced players on the pitch, Biko Adema, David Ambunya, Patrice Agunda left, the Germans just had the ascendancy and had enough to whiffle this off from the Kenyans. But you never get to see a lot of drop kicks being kicked in a game. And what a grandstand finish. That man in the picture, the number 10, Chris Hilson-Beck, will definitely be the toast of his team. Picture that the Germans just having a huddle before they go around to receive the presentation. Has been a hard-fought game. They did not give up, did not let the altitude affect them. Definitely deserved winners. And I'm certain there'll be a bit of risk. On the day in Nairobi, the Germans will definitely be celebrating, and we all do know how the Germans love to party and have a good time with their favorite beverage. Kenya's looking very dejected. But definitely just the start of the season. We'll still have a couple more matches. Can actually see both Wilson Kopondo and Peter Carrier with their arms in slings. Will be a point of concern ahead of their match against Uganda in Kampala in 2 weeks' time, before they proceed into the Africa Rugby tournaments, where they'll play Zimbabwe, Namibia, Senegal, and Tunisia. And of course, as expected, the German flyer Chris Hilsenbeck has been named the man of the match and receiving his award at the center, as the Kenyans are acknowledging the fans and the support that they received for this match. Always is good to acknowledge the supporters. Definitely would have been anywhere but elected to be in Nairobi to watch this game. rather dejected. Round of applause by the Kenyans to the fans. Definitely would have been a great one to win. Looking a bit gutted. Still a lot to play for the rest of the season. Kenyans will definitely to pick themselves up ahead of the next game in 2 weeks' time in Kampala, the first of the two-leg Gold Cup before they proceed to the Africa Cup rugby matches later on in July and August. Right after the elections are done in Kenya, we expect the Kenya Simbas to play against the Hong Kong team. The 2-series setup of matches in Nairobi before they proceed for the Four Nations tournament in Hong Kong. In Kenya, we picture the Kenyan captain Wilson Kopondo not looking like a happy camper, but will definitely look like he will have to dig deep to allow his Chargers to regroup themselves ahead of the remainder of the games. Some of the positives for the Kenyans has been the exemplary performance for the debutants. George Nyambua, in particular back row, was very sterling. German flyer in a picture there. The man of the match, Chris Olsenbeck, the man with a beautiful kick that won the match, receiving his man of the match trophy from Kenya Rugby Union Director Sylvia Kamau, the Kenya Rugby Union CEO Ronald Bukusi. The Germans definitely giving the Kenyans a tunnel to acknowledge them. Very sportsmanlike. Great game, played in great spirit by the Germans. Would be great to see Kenya having a chance to play them away in the near future in Germany. Kenyans just moving on through receiving their runner-up trophies. lining up for a team photo. Look on their faces, the look of dejection in their faces tells the entire story. A young German player there with the Western Province flag. He's moving on through to perhaps show his level of allegiance in a picture there. Daughter of yet another Kenya 7s and 15s legend, Dennis Mwanja, walking up. Kenyans just showing lots of dejection on their faces. They just know how close it was. Perhaps introspecting, trying to understand what they could have done a bit earlier. Runners-up trophy being received by Simon Muniapu. Of course, the chant of Okombe not really being convincingly received. Germans now lining up to receive their trophy. Looks to be a pecking head of sorts. The Kenyans just creating the tunnel for the team as they go around to collect their trophy. Hats off to the winners in this particular game. Hats off to the fly half, Chris Hilsenbeck. The Germans walking up, led by their captain, very feisty look, Michael Popmeyer, the man who scored the first try. Don't look to be smiling much. They're not a smiley bunch. Perhaps the beer later on will give us a little bit of a glimpse as to who the Germans really are. There it goes. You can see the little sly smile coming up. President of Kenya Rugby Union, Richard Omoela, and the Secretary, Geoffrey Oduor, are the men handing out the trophies. The Germans definitely hulking over. And I can tell you for a fact, the Kenya Rugby Union Secretary, Geoffrey Oduor, is not a small man. Almost being made to look like Thumbelina. The Germans picking up their trophies, waiting out for the main trophy to be picked up so that they can rent up into these RFUEA grounds with celebratory chants. Michael Popmeyer, the German captain, picking up the trophy from the Kenya Rugby Union President Richard Omoela. And the Germans live up to their top billing. German perfection, execution, being the ingredient that actually showed up. Winning this one 30.29, a very well and hard fought win. The Germans, winners of the Tattoo Series game in Nairobi. And remember that in your picture there, they conquered, they left with a trophy, and probably will also live with a couple of gallons of Kenyan beer. We'd like to thank you very much for joining us for the last 2 hours, watching from wherever you have been. This has indeed been one of very many other productions that we'll have as the 15th season progresses. We'll just have a look at the Germans in your picture there, enjoying the moment as they savor their victory in Nairobi. Signing off from the RFUEA Grounds in Nairobi, this has been Hilary Taylor. We look forward to hosting you in a very short while. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your day wherever you're at. And please, wherever you are, remember, alcohol definitely will not get extinguished. Drink responsibly, party responsibly. Hope to see you here in the near future.
Hi, I'm Andrew Amonde, Kenya Sevens captain, and you're watching